Good evening, folks. We're here with Fixing Everything channel once again. Today we'll be working on a 2012 Dodge Charger SE 3.6 liter. We're going to be replacing the front brakes and rotors. First, you'll need to jack the car up after supporting the rear wheels and making sure it's chalk so it cannot roll. Support it. Second of all, loosen your front wheels that are 21 millimeter lugs. Move your wheel out of your way. Do like I do, put it up underneath the car in case the car does accidentally fall for any reason. It has something else to fall on. You can always buy a tire and rim. Can't buy a life. Okay, second of all, you're gonna need a 13 millimeters after you press in your brake caliper. Go ahead and press in your brake caliper. I've already done that. You're gonna need a 13 millimeter for this caliper bolt here and this caliper bolt here. Now remember, when you go to reassemble, make sure that you're going to go ahead and put lubricate some grease in here. We're still going to show you that, but I want to go ahead and mention that now. And lubricate your slides on your brake clips. All right, we're going to go ahead and take that off. Okay, after removing the brake caliper from the retainer with those 13 millimeter bolts, set it out of the way on the frame so it's not in your way. And then you're going to tackle this back here with I do believe that's a 21, or it may be another 22 millimeter. I'll give you the exact size in just 1 second. Remove your brake pads. Remember which side of your brake pads has the clips. Some brake pads have double clips on them for squealer clips. Some do not. So make sure of which direction those clips turn when you put these brake pads back in here. If you're not used to what kind of pattern these go on, because they do go on in certain ways. This squealer clip's pointing down, so that's great. Now we're going to go ahead and remove this brake caliper retainer. Okay, your two brake caliper retainer bolts are 21 millimeters. Them son of a guns are pretty tight. I sprayed a little goober lube on mine, and I still had a cheater bar, and it was still pretty rough. If you don't have enough room under the ground here to get a long bar on it to break them, that makes it a lot easier. Or turn the wheel out to the left or right. That'll make it a lot easier for you. Okay, we're going to remove this now, and once we remove this rotor is just going to come popping off. Okay, after removing the 221 millimeters, your brake caliper retainer will come right off. I just set it to the side. I'm spraying some goober lube on this right here to loosen it up just a little bit, and hopefully it'll get behind there a little bit because this has got a lot of rust on it. I'm getting ready to have to tap on it a couple times and it may come loose. I may be able to just wiggle it back and forth here in just a second. Just let that stuff sit on there and it might just come right on off. And then you're going to replace your rotor the same way that it come off with no problem. Just slide it back on. Put your brake caliper retainer back on with your 21 millimeters. Make sure that you go ahead and tighten up those 21s. Make sure when you put your brake pads on, you grease these brake pad retainer clips, and you also grease these slide pins. Pull these out and put grease on them. See how mine are nice and lubed up? This is a car I work on all the time. So, I'll be back with you. Okay, once you've wiggled or banged loose your old rotor, just take it and throw it to the side to get rid of it, because that's probably the reason why you changed them out to start with. Take your new rotor. I always spray a little brake fluid cleaner, brake parts cleaner on there, or a little carbon choke cleaner. The brake parts cleaner is better to take off the little oils that it has on there, but if you don't have any, it's not going to really kill anything. Just make sure that when you get done, you actually seat the brake pads very well with a solid one stop. Not like slamming on the brakes, just a solid, continuous, aggressive stop like you would normally in the real world driving. Okay, stick it on there normally, but if these were drilled and slotted, you'd want to make sure that your slots come like in the backwards from front to back location, so that way it doesn't grip the brake pads as much because it's a forward direction. It makes them cool a lot quicker and carries the dust out. Okay, before you put your brake caliper retainer bolts in, you see how it's got a little rust on the end of it? That's actually a little like Loctite from the factory that they kind of put on there so it doesn't come loose as easy. I actually put me a little tad bit of grease on there. As long as you got them good and tight, you don't need any locking agent on it. It's not going to go anywhere. Make sure you get it good and tight though. Okay, after putting your brake caliper retainer on there and your brake retainers on there, you see I have a little grease on it. You slide your brake pads in. My brake pads came with 2 clips on each side. And we're going to go ahead and bolt everything back up. Put the brake caliper back on there the right way. Go ahead and pump my brakes up a little bit on the inside. Once I tighten my 2 13mm brake caliper bolt retainers, put my wheel back on and go to my other side. Okay, after squeezing your brake caliper all the way in so you can put it on the new thick brake pad you just put on there, put a little bit of grease here on your brake caliper retainer. You see that they have a Loctite on it, so it locks it in place. As long as you tighten it, if you have to, you can hold the back side here with a wrench, so you can get this tight enough and you won't need any Loctite. So it's easier to get off and it does not rust. Put just a dab of grease, a little dab of do you. Put both of them in, tighten them up, put your wheel on, tighten it up, go inside and pump up your brakes. Folks, I hope this helped you a lot. I'm going to my other side and finish it up. Join us, like us, subscribe us. Don't forget to hit the bell for upcoming new videos. Appreciate all of your support. See you next time.